All right, welcome back. It's now 4 minutes past 7 a.m. It's a very good Wednesday, and welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Good Morning Kenya on KBC Channel 1. It's the 19th day of August 2026. Okay, so with the days very quickly counting to the next poll, and I know the elected leaders are, to them there is no time left for them to put their best foot forward to campaign for their contract renewal. All right. And that is our democratic action that we undertake every 5 years. So before we get to that, which is close to 1 year away, I will also talk about leadership of integrity and accountability. That was I want to talk about. Leadership of accountability, integrity and accountability. Because the question is, where have we taken Chapter 6 of the Constitution? Are we really translating it effectively into action? So let's talk about that. For the next 1 hour, it's going to be a good debate. I'll be joined by Mheshimiwa Tomodege, who is the legislator representing Nyatike constituency, and also Mheshimiwa Francis Mwangangi, who is the deputy governor of Machakos County as well. Daniel Orogo, public policy analyst, as well as Gibson Gesore, who is an advocate of the High Court. The four gentlemen will be tackling that shortly. But before then, let me take you through the front page of the local daily, starting with Daily Nation. Gang robs ex-GSU boss bags of cash. Gang robs ex-GSU boss bags of cash. On Sunday afternoon, 4 armed robbers, 2 men and 2 women, broke into a house at Kitengela Police Sacco Estate in Kajiado County, a neighborhood that is home to senior police officers, and reportedly stole a large amount of money. As they fled, the gang scattered wads of 1,000 shillings notes to distract security guards following a scuffle. The raid on the home of Ranson Lolmodoni, the immediate former General Service Unit Commandant, is now the subject of a high-profile investigations. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. For the record, that is what I have there. Okay. And it continues that down there, why interns have better chance for 20,000 TSC jobs. That is why interns have better chance for 20,000 TSC jobs. That is what I have here. And of course, the medics are actually demonstrating across the country. Healthcare workers demonstrate in Eldoret City and actually was in Gishu County, demanding for the implementation of a collective bargaining agreement providing for salary increases and the conversion of contract workers to permanent and pensionable terms. There is a question here of what is Nyoro up to? Kiharu MP dumps UDA for opposition. So that is a question that the Daily Nation is asking. What is Ndindi Nyoro up to after dumping UDA for opposition? Many people are giving their own interpretation of that. But yes, it is the case of politics now. The story that has been in the headlines for a couple of years now. Sharon's family open to reconciliation with Obado Kin. Sharon family open to reconciliation with Obado Kin. It's a trial. In a victim impact statement, Sharon's parents said that they bore no hard feelings towards Obado's family. And yes, the case still continues and the court will make a ruling soon. Okay, so the question of Ruto ally on his own man. Ruto ally or his own man. Inside Ndindi Nyoro's stern political test. And Nyoro must prove his opposition break is genuine as he builds a national political machine ahead of the 2027 election. And at a glance, it seems that there's some tough battle ahead. With Nyoro's new party faces a credibility test beyond its launch, he must now convince voters that his break with Ruto is genuine, build structures beyond Kiharu, recruit credible candidates and develop a national message. PPK will also have to navigate competing opposition ambitions while demonstrating that it can offer a credible governing alternative ahead of the 2027 general election. That is what I have here. All right, and finally, the front page of the Standard, untouchable goons. Untouchable goons. There's a gentleman here on the front page, making it on the front page of a local daily. He's not... All right, so there we have it. The Standard says very quickly that they paused for cameras, issued chilling threats, mobilized armed youths, and later celebrated online after violently shutting down an opposition rally. As Homa Bay reels from 4 deaths, dozens of injuries, and widespread destruction, the Standard unmasks the political foot soldiers accused of turning the lakeside town into a no-go zone and exposes their powerful networks allegedly shielding them from arrest and prosecution. The scale of violence and impunity point to a brazen political militia operating in plain sight. That is on the front page of the Standard. And that now brings me to my topic of discussion today. Let me introduce my guest once again. Mheshimiwa Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor of Machakos County. Mheshimiwa Tom Odege, who is the legislator of Nyatike constituency, and Daniel Orogo, public policy analyst, is also vying for Kibra constituency parliamentary seat, right? True. Okay. True. And of course, Gibson Gesori is an advocate of the High Court. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Karibuni sana. Let me start with in one minute each. I know you can. Based on what has been happening in the country, Mheshimiwa, you were in the mountain a couple of days yesterday? Yes, let's just talk about this. I mean, this we cannot, whichever way you, which part, as you go ahead.
Thank you first and foremost for the invite.
Yes.
Secondly, it is true, yesterday we toured Central Kenya, but before then we were in Rift Valley. We came also to Kajiado, and we went to Embu, Mombasa, then yesterday we were in Central Kenya. We are trying to convince the electorate on why they should trust us in next year's elections. I think it is doable. It is only that it is a serious business. The response is overwhelming. For now, many years I've been in politics. I have never witnessed a kind of the change wind of change that I'm experiencing from across the Republic. It is interesting, and I think we'll see what comes out of it. Yes.
Okay. Mheshimiwa Odege, Homa Bay County is your neighbor. Did you feel the heat from across the border?
There was no heat.
There was no heat?
There was no heat.
Okay.
I was in Homa Bay the whole of Sunday. I was in Oyugis, Kindu Bay, Rodi, Kopany, Mbewa, and Homa Bay. There was nothing much.
There's nothing much.
I wonder what he means. There was nothing much when five lives have been lost.
I know too. The 5 I don't know. One was knocked down by the same vehicle of people he was supporting. Yeah.
There's a police officer who lost life. He was also in the...
Police officer. Okay, there were 2.
There's nothing much.
Okay. There was nothing much.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. What we're seeing in the country, which from whichever political side you are in, what's your take? Go ahead.
Well, I with the rest, I spent my time in Kibra actually over the weekend, in tuning in and following what was happening in Homa Bay. It's a worrying state that we are in. In either way you'd want to express it, it is a sign of an early warning sign that all is not well in the country, and like we are seeing the country gravitating towards a paradise of violence, lawlessness. And so regardless of whatever position you're seeing it, Victor, there is a serious reason to worry when we are rising up against one another and there is death reported. So I think it's the lowest that we could see. It's my worry, just my opening remarks beginning with that. And of course it's an indictment to the state of leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is a question to all of you, starting with you, Wakili. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
A question that, why is it Kenya struggling to translate Chapter 6 of the Constitution into actual political or political behavior? Why? Why is it just so hard to practice it?
Thank you, Victor. You see, Chapter 6 can only be practiced in a position or in an aspect of when we have some moral understanding. Basically, Kenya doesn't seem to be agreeing on any moral standing. And what is trying to divide Kenya is the political rhetoric of the day is what is trying to dictate what Chapter 6 is, as opposed to a perspective where we have to have common values, we have to have common underpinnings in terms of principles of what we believe in. If we lack that, as a country, then we become a country which believes in nothing, and anybody who shows up and tells you this is the way to go, you have to follow that. And there only can come another person to also say this is not the way, and then you also follow that one. So that is the biggest challenge. The aspect of the spirit of the Constitution is lacking. The spirit can only be captured in morals, in things which Kenyans believe in principle. But without that, then the Constitution can be a very beautiful document operating in a room which there is no set beliefs, there is no set understanding. That is the challenge which behooves Kenyans. And once we deal with that, because integrity is really about what do you believe in, what standards or principles do you want to say that this is the lowest and this is the best we can be able to have.
Okay. Mheshimiwa Mwangangi, I mean, you know, as leaders, you'll be chosen because of your track record, and you have to be accountable. Why is it so hard to exercise this Chapter 6?
Greedy. All this you are seeing around is as a result of a greedy, period. If you ask why, for example, the functions and the resources that are supposed to have gone to counties have not gone, it's because of greed. If you ask why we are centralizing everything, it's because of greed of some of us, what we are gaining out of it, period. Chapter 6 is about putting people first. You cannot afford to put people first if you are interested in what comes out of them in form of taxes. So in this case, it is not only at national level, even at county level, at whichever level, even at constituency level, because they add money in terms of NGCDF. So in this case, my take, it's purely the issue touching on greedy, corruption, and there has also to be attached on an issue of governance. And there can never be proper governance when I want to get something out of the public kitty. So everything else, you can talk a lot of many things. You can say governance, this, that, but it ends up to one thing, money that is supposed to be milked. Now, I think we need to do some things, because if we get out of here, four of us, most likely you will be let to go by the public. Out here, they will come running to me, to him, And you will end up giving out some coins here and there at the end of everything. It might not be much, but it is much because you had not budgeted for it when you are getting out of your house. So I think we need also to look at our politics and the way it is structured, because I'm sorry, under Mheshimiwa's leadership, they joined a team that is known to splash money for them to be liked. And I think now he has grown in that category. That's why he thinks losing 5 lives is nothing, as long as they retain power. You see? So Wakili will tell you it ends up to one thing.
Yeah.
Corruption.
Okay. Mheshimiwa, you have right of reply. You've grown up.
You know, when you are talking to a former legislator who was metamorphosized to be a deputy governor, and is also planning to be a governor in future, must make a populist statement like the one he's trying to make here. If we are looking at the challenges we are facing as a country, it should not be looked so open like this. We have to go deep. And you start with the unemployment as one of the cause of the problems we are facing currently. Because like when you talk about most youths in the country, like the ones he's saying are looking for handouts, you'll agree with me that majority of those youths are desperate to live. So if you want to reduce all these problems to a level which can be managed by all of us, we should look at how do we fix the problem affecting our youth today, and especially the educated ones. Because you'll find majority of those people who are graduating in the universities today, they don't have hope. And those people you are seeing outside there, all of them are schooled, but they are lacking that empowerment which can make them be grounded and live their own lives. So the disparison we are facing outside there starts with the issue of unemployment, which I think should be key to all of us. When you talk about our country currently and how we are divided politically, it's not something new. Those who are of my age in the year 1992 and the year 2002 will tell you we have faced the same situation in the country in those years. So going to electioneering year this time around, it might not be very different. What I wanted to say is that we need to conduct our politics with a lot of respect to each other. Because what is bringing all these things is lack of respect. Like you go to Homa Bay, you want to go and address people of Homa Bay. And when you reach Homa Bay, you start chest thumping. Apa ni wapi? Where are we? We are in Homa Bay town. Who are you telling that?
What's the problem with that?
No, who are you boasting to in the first place?
I'm just asking. Is that chest thumping?
It's
We've
chest
had that
thumping.
statement all over.
Why do you want chest thumping? Because you have arrived in Homa Bay. And again, if I'm a governor of Migori, and I go to Machakos, where there is another governor, and I've not even consulted with that governor, then when I reach Machakos, I thump as if I've entered heaven. Those are the provocations which we need to avoid. Kenya is a free country. When you go anywhere, you should accept you are in a part of the country. You don't need to chest thump. Why do you provoke people who are not?
And you know
there are some provocations, which can trigger something which was not planned.
You are an active player, and you know how this game is played.
No, you don't. But you don't provoke. You don't provoke. You don't provoke.
Okay,
go there and do your business and leave, but don't just stamp in somebody's territory. Maybe you think just because she's a woman. No.
Well, someone's territory, but anyway, freedom of association and movement. I mean,
but you are right. Ends when where mine starts. You don't just overstep on everybody.
How is that crossing red line?
The red line.
When you ask someone, hapo ni wapi?
No, like you enter my territory, and you want to show me, you can go there whether I like it or not. And my people will also tell you, no, we have a leader here, you have to respect
Hapo ni wapi? Hapo ni Nyatike.
No, people will, well, the people you're taking will tell you where you are. There is also an MP. There is also a governor. Yeah, why do you want to behave as if you're our governor? People will tell you off.
Okay, done.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it this way. When it comes to integrity issues, it becomes super political, that it loses the real meaning of integrity itself.
Yeah.
And accountability.
Yes.
Why?
I think I've had the DG and the opinion from the Honourable Member of Parliament from Nyatike. I think what we are describing is the fruit of a tree that we should know what is the foundation of the root of that. Mheshimiwa Odege talked about unemployment. Mheshimiwa DG has talked about the issues of greed. Probably Wakili is going to talk about something else. My opinion is that we founded a country, the foundations of our country, drove us to a man-each society where we are driven by individualism. Sometimes I compare what is happening in our integrity and leadership software with what is happening in our neighboring countries. Mwalimu Julius Nyerere brought a philosophy of Ujamaa that founded the leadership philosophy in Tanzania. That every Tanzanian identifies themselves as Tanzanians, first of all. And everything that is owned is communally owned, Victor. And therefore, anyone who tries to engage into an accumulation, into greed, as DG put it, that engages in a behavior that poses people to unemployment the way Mheshimiwa Odege has mentioned it, would face a collective retribution.
Yeah.
And you saw the departure on the leadership philosophy of Kenya and Tanzania. Ours was more on capitalism. Get what you want, accumulate as much as you can. The end will not justify the means. So this is what we are in a country, Victor. Because everyone will try to piece together what is the foundation that brought us to a level where we do not care about human life, that we do not care about crude accumulation of wealth, that we do not care about incitement, that we do not care about the value of life. All these things that we are mentioning, these are the fruits of a tree that as a Kenya we need to define what is ailing this country that has led us into what we are talking about today.
Yes.
Have you understood that since the establishment of NCIC, about 30 or 40 people have been summoned, and 99% of these people are politicians. They have been asked to appear because of incitement messages that they made, because of hate rhetoric that they have made. Few or none of these people are from religious community. Few or none of these people are from business community or private sector. The question is, why, when it comes to a political leadership, then we lower our guard in terms of vetting for integrity, in terms of vetting for leadership? That is the question, Victor.
Okay.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa Odege, you were at the press conference yesterday at the Parliament buildings, right?
Yes,
Today, right?
yes.
And you heard what your colleague Mheshimiwa Kaluma said.
Yeah, I was there.
You are there. Do you support what he said, that if anything of that sort happens, then he will still do the same, what he did?
I don't have a right to respond on Kaluma's behalf.
Okay.
But I can confirm I was in the press conference. I agreed with most of the things he presented. But when it comes to substantiating, then the buck stops with Kaluma.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in such kind of scenarios, okay, with that aside, based on what really happens, who should take quick responsibility?
On what happened in Noma Bay?
Exactly.
I I don't know which part of Homa Bay you're talking about. Are you talking about Nyandiwa, or are you talking about Sindo?
Homa Bay town.
Are you
Because
talking
better
about
part
Homa
of
Bay town?
Nyandiwa, they were those sides of Suba, relatively peaceful. But when mayhem started around Kodwogo and Junction Kodoyo and all that,
I would want the buck to stop with the Linda Mwananchi guys, because the time they were entering Homa Bay was wrong. Even our public rallies, we are not allowed to do them past 6. But entering Homa Bay around 7 was wrong. So whatever happened at that time, it's between them and police who allowed them to enter Homa Bay at that time. It was wrong. It was too late for them to enter town.
okay. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Now, we are going to do this until 8 a.m. Let's do this. Now, Wakili, now the question is, there is a situation now where we're headed. Everything is going to degenerate into a position where it's us versus them, okay? And the lines will be drawn very clearly. Why do you think this happens? More so when it comes to electoral points as where we are today.
The major problem, Victor, I will want to put it at the door of the politicians. The politicians are dictating the narrative, as opposed to a scenario whereby our law should be able to dictate the narrative. The aspect of respecting the rule of law, the spirit of the Constitution, the word and letter of the law does not seem to hold water in this country. And unfortunately, whatever politicians say, you can hear Mheshimiwa say, you know, I don't only know for... I mean, they belong to the other side, so they should die. They should, it doesn't matter. I mean, they are Kenyans, but sons of a lesser God. So if we were to approach that from that perspective, then we will continue with this rhetoric, whereby, I mean, if people who are not on my side die, then that's not a problem. I mean, that is even should be celebrated. Why are they coming to my bedroom at night? I mean, it's a political scenario whereby you sit back and wonder, and that's what I was trying to draw you to earlier, that, I mean, our Constitution does not matter. The freedom of movement, which is enshrined in the country, in the Constitution, does not happen in reality, in political playbook. It's about somebody's stuff. It's about how you should approach my territory with care. You should actually maybe pay me, or you should actually pay the local people so that you can come. And then when you come, be sure you also need to clock in and clock out within the specified time. We cannot be able to operate that way. This is a free country, which we need to be able to believe in. Let me draw you to the American context, whereby it's the American Charter, the Constitution, which rules the day. Regardless of whoever you are, you'll be taken to court, whether you're a sitting president, whether you are from the ruling party, or whether you are from whatever side. Because the rule of law is what they believe in. The challenge we have as Kenyans, and is because we were dealt a bad hand, as my brother Rogo had said, right from independence, whereby politics seems to be dictating the narrative, and we invested in capitalism. When you invest in capitalism and you bring politics, nothing else matters. Even if you color or you write the Constitution with blood, nothing is going to change. We need, as Kenyans, to put our foot down and dictate our narrative and say, these are our principles which we cannot be able to operate outside. That has been captured in the political charter document, which is the Constitution, but then politically that seems to be disregarded. It's like the Constitution was made for other people, not the politicians. If we can be able to keenly interrogate that as Kenyans, we will be able to have a solution.
Mheshimiwa Mwangangi, do you think, as the other side, as you say that you belong to the other side of opposition, right? What makes you think that you are a better alternative than where Mheshimiwa Odege is?
A speaker here has talked of us versus them. That should not be the case. Us should be the ideas that we have. or what we have gathered from the public, what we have put together against what the other side has. But you have asked a specific question. Why do we think we are better? We are better because of what we stand for, because of the ideas that we have. There are things that are happening currently that I will tell Mheshimiwa, where the group he is supporting today are committing. Personally, where I sit, I believe what do you call you know where I come from, the village, they call it a bread-based group. You know, I tell you, when you look at the high taxation regime, where does it take us as a country? How does it affect the growth of our economy? How does that apply when it comes to the expansion and hiring of new staff by private sector? That is what is bringing a lot of poverty into this country, because many companies, many multinationals are moving out of this country.
Yeah.
I'm addressing the question of inequality and unemployment in the country. If you have an idea today, that idea which can generate 1,000, 10,000 jobs at the end should be embraced. We should have a way of incubating that idea and it grows. But that is not the case with this regime. Okay? We are better because we value our constitution. If today Kalonzo Musyoka was the president of Kenya, I will tell you for free, anybody who tries to abduct a Kenyan will face the full force of the law. Anybody who tries to slaughter a fellow Kenyan will be dealt with within the law. We are better because look at the Kenya's relationship with the rest of the world. It is not where it is under any previous administration.
Why Kalonzo?
So,
no, just a minute. Why Mheshimiwa Kalonzo alone?
One of the major problems we have in this country is the question of constitutionalism. The second one is how people feel those leading them.
Yes.
If, for example, people of Machakos feel their deputy governor is corrupt, I'll tell you, irrespective of what I do, it will be suspicious. We have a problem. I want you to pick any of these newspapers. See how many businesses, how many properties belonging to Kenyans, how many properties belonging to companies are being auctioned. That tells you something.
So what will you change?
So I'm telling you, those are things I'm telling you. We are different from them. The policies this group is implementing are bringing a lot of problems, troubles, and poverty to this country.
Okay.
Yes, and that's why we are different.
You have bad programs and policies, according to him.
And you know, you have stopped me without. Let me finish the last point. The last point. And this team is an administration that is overseeing the death of devolution in Kenya systematically. If you ask them, they will tell you, no. After every financial year we have dealt, we don't delay your disbursement. You know, that is not the case.
Okay.
Simply, you need to pick the budget of national government and what is allocated to devolution in Kenya. You will find it is almost
I asked you a question 7%. Why you said if Mheshimiwa Kalonzo would be the president, but you didn't answer. You still answer that.
Don't worry, let me tackle that. And I want to be very clear to my brother here. Let's pray to God so that we are given life. If there is a man who will never be president in this country, it's Kalonzo Musyoka. And let's pray we get life. He'll never.
Why do you say so? Anything is possible.
He can't. He'll not be. Because the Kalonzo brand of politics, he has never been himself. So people don't know Kalonzo. Like now, if you look at the rearrangements here, we are trying to look at here, people are seeing Gachagua, not Kalonzo. And he has also accepted to be a stooge.
Are you talking what's on the front page of the Star?
You don't worry. We have all the papers here we are seeing, and we can tell you they were in Nyeri, Mount Kenya. So this one today on 19th, we are in KBC here. We pray to God to give us life. 2027 is coming. The man who will never be president in the Republic of Kenya is Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka. That one we can write and put in record. One day invite me and him. We come here and confirm whether my prophecy has come to pass. We are coming here to see that. What I want to say is this. There are some facts which we have to accept. As we are talking today, we cannot sit here and deny that our economy is doing badly. Kenyan economy is growing stronger. That one is a fact we must accept. Why is it growing stronger? There are policies driving that. So you cannot say the policies of this government are all rotten. Without that, we are all aware on our debt burden, we were listed as one of the countries who are going to default. And up to today, we have not defaulted, which means we are doing something. You look at the way we are doing our infrastructure currently. I think in the region, we are ranked, we have a place where we are. You cannot do infrastructure if you don't have a stronger economy. We are there. Today, as we are talking, if you are lucky, you've been traveling outside this country, and you've been going through Ethiopia, you will say JKI is dead because you can go there and not find any passenger lining. They are not there. JKI died a long time ago because we refused to compete. Every passenger is now connecting through Ethiopia, not in Kenya here. So if Kenyans can now proudly say we are doing a new airport, I'll be a very happy man because we are going towards the right direction. There is no way you can grow your economy if key infrastructures are not fixed.
Yeah.
So those are the things which the government is currently trying to fix. And in the next 10 years, we'll be proud to be in a country where, because we are reclaiming our lost glory, we are reclaiming. That one we can only get if we fix infrastructure correctly.
Yeah.
We do our airports to the international standards. We have affordable way of communicating and moving within the country and abroad. That's where we are talking about Lake Victoria Ring Road. We talk about SGR. We talk about modern airport.
Yeah.
We talk about everything. We want to make business easier to those who are willing to do business. My brother here talked about how Nyerere laid foundation in Tanzania.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, I'm bordering Tanzania. And if you go to Tanzania today, they are dropping those Nyerere policies very fast to start coping with us because they have been left behind. Like, if you ask me today, what is Tanzania doing with Kiswahili currently? Because internationally, that language is not helping them. They have to change. Where a primary school kid will say, nimemaliza shule. Those are long gone. We have to start competing. You look at Rwanda, just a young country coming from war. Rwanda now is ranked as one of the leading economies because they changed very fast. When they realized they have joined East Africa and the most dominant language in East Africa is English, they adopted English very fast, and they're also doing French. So internationally, Rwanda can compete very favorably and can attract people from all walks and lives than Tanzania here.
Yeah.
So Tanzania is trying to now cope with the time because that Ujama thing Nyerere gave them was not competing enough to make them move very fast
As opposed to our system of running things. Because Tanzania have almost close to more than 100 sub-tribes, more than
they are there,
110,
and I can tell you, when it comes to natural resources, they are almost 50 times richer than Kenya. But because of their Ujama thing, it has gone so slowly until the country was remaining behind. Now we go there and see what Suluhu is doing. Suluhu has revamped that country and is competing with us very fast. And if you're not careful, they'll bypass us here.
Okay.
Because of the new policy. But when it comes to politics in Kenya, I want to tell you that we have challenges. Those challenges were there with Moi. Those challenges were there with Kibaki. Those challenges were there with the Uhuru Kenyatta. And those challenges were also with Ruto. And as we are talking now, we are trying to change the narrative so that we have a country where every corner of this country can feel the development.
One of the challenges,
let me say one thing about the county he's talking about.
Just mention one challenge.
One of the challenge we have was purely inequity in resource distribution.
Very good.
That inequity is why somebody can go to Suba South and laugh at them because of dusty roads. And forgetting that these people have been sidelined for the last 60 years. And it's now when they are trying to rediscover if they can also get and do something and compete with others. And somebody who is laughing has been in the right side of the government for the last 60 years. And we can even go to court and reclaim our wealth they took to wherever they thought was right.
Okay. All right, done.
Yeah.
I'll come back. You respond. There's something you wanted to say.
You refused me to say something about it.
I'll come back. Yes, Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, well, let me correct that. I said we. And first of all, I think I've just been given a very unique mic. I think this is just to point symbolically.
You are the prodigal son around.
First of all, I mentioned that the leadership software of our neighboring countries has enabled them to wallow through some difficult times in their leadership point. And I understand that Mheshimiwa Odege has mentioned about development policies. That probably is another conversation. But what I was saying is that compared to our country, where the foundations of this country by the founding fathers of this country laid a very, exclusive for me, economic and political policies that probably in one way or the other marginal certain regions. And I think that we agree with Honorable Tom Odege that certain regions in this country received very, at the receiving end because of skewed resource distribution. And had we found it right that when it comes to our leadership, responsibilities as a country, then we could have said that we have Kenya as a country, that each and every region is able to receive development or distribution equally. I think that is what I just wanted to note, just to correct what Mheshimiwa probably pointed out. On the other end, Victor, in either divide of these political factions, we are now looking at a situation where the broad-based government and the united opposition, and then of course the third force, that is Linda Mwananchi group. Now I see the entrance of Ndindi Nyoro into it is bringing us to a point where now as Kenyans, we are confronted with a situation of asking leaders in both functions to tell us what their policies are. And I think that is very interesting. The arrival of the discussion, the conclave, our president has pointed out that it's important that we have a conversation in this country, which of course I have been talking about in this panel each and every time, that there are things in this country that are no longer tenable. That of course the constitution has outlived certain elements that we foresee could have worked in 2010, but now is no longer tenable that we could be talking about. Not necessarily the change on expanding executive or something, but even looking at what are other tenets of the constitution that we could be talking about that could enhance our accountability, that could enhance our integrity. For example, I foresee a situation, Victor, where then do we talk about in this national conversation that has been proposed by the head of state, for example, do we now begin to talk about what makes Kenya to be known as Kenya? What is the Kenyanese in us that Honorable Mwangangi in his united opposition can say that can be reiterated by Honorable Tom Odege in the broad-based government? What then do we agree in as a country, regardless of whatever political party or political coalition we are in? Those are conversations that we should be looking. Can we have a conversation, for example, on the Article 10 of the Constitution, our values, national principles of governance? So I look at this as probably a point of unity. We all agree violence is not good, right, Victor? We all agree that there needs to be sanctity of life. Honorable Tom Odege, we all agree that there is sanctity of life in this country. Honorable Mwangangi can equally agree to this. We all agree that there should be a rule of, a respect of constitution and the rule of law. So I believe that in our differences, regardless of certain political functions, regardless of whether Mheshimiwa Kalonzo would be the president or not, or Mheshimiwa Rigathi would be the president or not, or whether Mheshimiwa Ruto or whatever, Mheshimiwa Maraga or whoever is in a position, then there is those things that we as a country can agree on, that this is what defines the Kenyans, this is what defines integrity, this is what defines us as a country. Victor, in 2002, did we see post-Kibaki, after being sworn in, that the country, people were arresting police officers who attempted to engage in corruption, Victor? Did we see that by that time, the country was rated as the most hopeful country in the world? So these are the things that we are talking about today. They are not hard, but we're just saying, what is it as a country that begins to define us, that begins to shape our leadership, that all of us can agree, regardless of political functions we are in, that this is wrong.
But then, Wakili, so what is the real need of, or the value of having some of these laws, while the consequences of breaking the so-called laws that we have are actually either slow or uncertain?
You see, the challenge with the law implementation, Victor, is the underpinnings. If people do not believe in the underpinnings, then it becomes very difficult. Changing people from the former constitution to the current constitution and still maintaining the same mentality which people had, it's akin to the proverbial say that it's still the same monkeys in a different forest. So that is the challenge. Nothing will change. So that's why I was alluding to earlier, that as a country, we need to really go back to the drawing board and ask ourselves, what do we believe in? What sets of integrity do we believe in? I mean, I think I've had comments related to issues of English, Swahili, Ujamaa, and I've also had aspects of the economy not doing so well. But let's go back to the basics. Ethiopia was never colonized. Ethiopia around 2018 already surpassed us economically. Mheshimiwa has highlighted, if you go to the Ethiopian airport, Bole airport, and they are doing now a major one, which is going to be the largest in Africa, Ethiopia is doing more, even with, they have their political issues, but they've been able to surpass this because they believe in something called being an Ethiopian. And that is the driving force. Regardless of the wars they are having, regardless of them not being colonized, they still can forge ahead. You go to Europe. Europe, Italians speak Italian, the French speak French, and they're neighbors. And then the British speak English. But these people have been able to do business, do trade, develop their countries irregardless. So language or no language does not matter. It's about what do you believe in. Can we be able to believe in some certain set of values which we can be able to bring in the political aspirations and then be able to drive our economy based on that? If you go to Ethiopia now, in the next 5 or 10 years, it's going to be the next Dubai. But where are we? We have an airport which is very confused. We have a truck which is stuck somewhere in the forest. We are not serious as Kenyans. And why are we not serious? It's because the problem is with the leadership. It's the kind of leaders we put in office. And how do the leaders end up there? It's us Kenyans who fought them. So the problem is with us Kenyans to first understand what do we want as a people. Ethiopia cannot be doing a dam, which is the largest, which is even shocking the Americans, and we just seated there and there are we immediate neighbor, while we cannot even do a single airport. That is a joke. So we need to be very serious as Kenyans and ask our, I mean, how long has been talking and been, where Mheshimiwa is coming, been up to now, I don't know, it should be close to 10 years since it was started. It has never been finished. But Ethiopia has done a 6,000 megawatt dam over the same period. So now they're doing a major airport after what they did has already been overpassed. Values. So we need
priorities.
They are on a second round, as we are not even started on the first round. We are talking about Vision 2060. We are jokers. We need to be serious. We need to be able. Our friends, the Tanzanians, the Ujamaa has been able to help them. They stole the East African crude oil pipeline from us. You know, the initial plan was, and nobody's talking about that. Now, they're also doing another one of the major ports. Their port is going to be the biggest in the region.
They're also doing an SGR, which is also going to the border. Ours, I think, I don't know. We launched it, but I'm not seeing even a tractor trying to push it the same. Those are the things which we're supposed to be talking about. Why is our rate of economic development so sluggish that even our neighbors have woken up and have done greater things, while ours is still slacking behind? Why don't we have a dual up to Mombasa up to now? We gave that to the Americans ages ago. They have been dancing around. They have never even had a tractor on site, and we're still not talking about
Wakili, you've
that.
asked so
Those
many,
are some of the things which
so
we
many
need to be
tough
pushing.
questions that if you had
we
1
need this
hour,
politics.
we would just be responding to those questions one by one.
We should battle this politics and be able to focus on the key things. We should be able to drive our economic growth.
Okay. I did not take you through the front page of the Star. And Mheshimiwa, you'll have to answer this because it's also in relation to what Mheshimiwa Dege said. Can you see that? That Gachagua pushes for early Wiper DCP deal ahead of unity talks. So this one, definitely, if Sifuna is in the matrix, will push him to number 2. What is the deal about?
Before that, I think in trying to answer that question, I think I will be deviating from a very important thing you are subjecting this panel to the nation. Today's topic is very important. Leadership of integrity and accountability.
Right.
If as a country we stuck with the implementation of Vision 2030 and not using it to loot the country, this country will be different today. All those things Wakili has raised are addressed in Vision 2030. We need to ask ourselves a question. How comes President Kibaki, with all his shortcomings, he managed to succeed and put this country to a growth and transformation path? What is this he did that some of us are not getting right? I watched our head of state last night, and he made a very good comment, which I think, if it is followed, maybe we'll be on the right path. But I have a problem with the administration. What they say is very nice. When it comes to the real action, they do the very opposite of what they promise. Now, he said everything depends on the leadership. It is something that Mheshimiwa Ndege has said. It is something Wakili and the Kibra candidate has said. I think this Vision 2030 addresses so many things. It is not bad to think of Vision 2060 or 2063, whichever. It is good always to have a plan. But I agree also, we need timelines in implementing this plan so that a country's leadership, once it changes, people don't deviate and start doing other things. And finally, on the same, is you are right, Wakili. Those projects, some have started, some have stalled, and I tell you, like this country has major rivers, like Tana River, Athi River, and in the case of Athi River, it is now almost still for close to over 20 years. That what I saw dirty, we need to do a lot. Yet it is the main source of that dam he has referred to. Now, coming to your question about the Gachagua.
Can you do that because you already are out of time?
Yes.
In 1 minute.
It is not pushing. It is a comment he meant. I don't know why people are reading so much.
In politics, there is not just. And you know that.
I was there when he meant that a comment. He said, we need to work more closely. Okay. Why? We you know, culturally, people come together. They intermarry. They do business together.
So
they do a lot of things
what's the partnership
together.
all about?
Politics, so that we can transform the country.
What will Gachagua bring on the table? And His Excellency Kalonzo?
Yesterday, there is something you ran here in the news. I saw it as I was coming. He said, since 1992, he has been part and parcel of changing of the government.
So what is this deal all about? For Kalonzo to be what?
Not to be what? Working together. That is part of it. Okay? That is part of it. You see, there's something I want to repeat here.
For Kalonzo to be the president.
At Uhuru Park, just a minute, at Uhuru Park, we as Wiper Patriotic Front gave Kalonzo nod to run for presidency of this country. We within Wiper, we continue pushing for that agenda. We have other players. We will try to convince them.
So that's
if he is the one as a candidate for alternative government formation, then we move forward and we will be happy. If he is not the one, we are ready to support whoever is agreed upon or is picked.
And as Mheshimiwa Odege said, what did you say, Mheshimiwa?
Today is 19th. Inside the KBC studio.
And by the way, there was a comment here that was meant here. No. We should not let it go that way.
You have done. You are allow us also to
we're actually out of time.
Allow us to make our closing remarks.
Sorry? The text said that we are out of time.
Okay.
Maybe just 30 seconds to respond.
What I want to put here
30 seconds, kindly.
is about what happened in Homa Bay and in ODM. What I want to communicate to Kenyans is that in ODM, we have a party leader called Oburu Odinga. We have a party chair called Gladys Wanga. Any other person calling himself party leader or any other thing is not meant for ODM. Let them form their party and they run the way they want. And in our ODM zones, we demand for respect. And if you want us to respect you, please respect us. Other line says, which can provoke violence, let us stop them. We are in one country and we must respect each other and we move this country forward. Provocations, no.
I think that's a better way to stop. Can we all agree that we condemn violence?
Yes.
Let's all agree.
Yes.
Violence, we condemn.
Let's just all agree that. Because at the end of the day, we will not have voters.
We also hold those who are funding violence to account.
That's what we're talking about, accountability. Okay, definitely.
Yes.
All right, so let's stop it there. Gibson Gesore, advocate of the High Court, as usual, asante sana for making it to the show. Daniel Orogo, we wish you all the best in Kibra. It's a tough battle, but you have Mheshimiwa there, two Mheshimiwas here. Take some notes from them. Yeah, you can consult them.
Absolutely.
They'll give you some notes on how to do it. Okay, Mheshimiwa Tom Odege, asante sana, and for representing the great people of Nyatike, and Mheshimiwa Francis Mongangi, thank you so much from Machakos County. Okay, let's take a break. GNK continues after this. Stay with us.